Well, day number one of on-ice sessions here at the Scotiabank Saddledome for training camp, the return-to-play program for the Calgary Flames and the rest of the National Hockey League. Good to be joined by Milan Lucic following his first skate. Training camp, I know you've been here the last number of months skating with a group of guys, but how different does it feel knowing it is the first day of training camp here today?
Yeah, it's great to have the first official skate here with all the coaches and do some drills for real and get ready for some real games. Obviously, it's not your traditional training camp with all the circumstances, but it's nice that things are official and finally getting going. So it was a fun first day.
Well, and I know a number of guys have talked about just how quickly things are going to go and progress here, not only through training camp, but as we get into the regular season, just the condensed schedule. But what for you and the rest of the guys is important to kind of keep in mind here as we go over the next 10 days here before that first game?
Well, I think you want to, find your game as quick as possible and find that sharpness and find that crispness and find that feeling on the ice. Like I said, it's not that traditional training camp where you have a couple weeks to fine-tune your game. So yeah, you want to make the most out of every rep that you have in practice, out of every drill and out of every situation. So it's up to you as an individual to do that, to fine-tune your game before things start for real. And today was, I think, a good start of that.
What about just the idea of the schedule in total? I mean, we've kind of seen condensed schedules before, the lockout shortened season. Is there any similarities you can draw in terms of just preparation and, kind of the way you plan to handle the body and the maintenance as we move through this season, or is it different in many ways?
Yeah, definitely. Experiencing the lockout season in 2013, a little bit of experience here, but obviously kind of not the same because you're only playing the same 6 teams over and over again. But the one thing that you do learn is that you did learn from that experience was playing a lot of games in a short amount of time. So rest and recovery becomes really important. I think when you look at the schedule, our travel isn't as much as it usually is, where we're in a city playing 2-3 games at a time and all that type of stuff. So there is a little bit more of an opportunity to get your recovery back without jumping on a plane right after a game. But yeah, I think main focus is getting off to a good start. When you don't have 82 games, that first 5-10 games becomes even more important to get yourself started off on the going in the right direction, and I think all that is really important moving forward.
And just to dive a little deeper into the same 6 teams, I mean, you're going to be playing almost mini playoff series at different points of this season. I mean, what about it for you excites you the most? I mean, obviously we expect those Canadian rivalries to bring out some pretty good juice throughout the course of the season, but what kind of gets your blood moving a little bit quicker? Yeah,
like you said, it's kind of like mini series throughout the season, playing the same teams 2-3 times before you move on to the next one, kind of like a baseball schedule. But I think it'll be great. It's kind of like Hockey Night in Canada every night now, playing Canadian teams over and over again. I think it'll be cool, to play, Toronto and Montreal and Ottawa more than 2 times. Get back in that Eastern time zone and get familiar with those teams as well. And obviously, I know a lot of people are excited about seeing the Battle of Alberta as many times as they are, and Winnipeg too, a team that we beat last year in the play-in round, and so they're gonna have a chip on their shoulder against us as well. So a lot of rivalry games within the 3 Western teams that we play against a bunch, but I'm sure we'll get some rivalries going against the 3 Eastern teams as well.
Absolutely, and I know we're not supposed to look too much into the lines, especially on day one of a training camp, but I know things will move around. But started at least this morning alongside a couple familiar guys in Derek Ryan and Dylan Dubé for a short time. What about the familiarity there? And, again, kind of nice to have, some of that familiarity moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of familiarity. We had a lot of success playing together last year. So if that is the line come game one, I know all 3 of us are really happy about that and looking forward to that. So hopefully we can kind of, get that chemistry going right off the bat here. So yeah, good first day. happy to be back, the three of us, and just trying to get better every day here moving forward.
One last one, and that's just over the course of this offseason. I know you spent it here in Calgary and throughout Alberta, and maybe just skating, obviously, here at the Dome with the group, but maybe the offseason, maybe off the ice more so. What about enjoying some of the Calgary and Alberta sights and sounds? Looks like you kind of put together a little tourism commercial almost there. What stood out to you about the offseason from the family perspective?
Yeah, it's just getting to know the city and everything that it had to offer. In the city and around the city. It's just a great place to be. Lots to do, especially outdoors wise. As a family, we try to make the most of it. So had a lot of fun heading out to the mountains, Lake the Willies, Banff, Canmore. Even made a trip out to Drumheller the one day, and one of the days we actually rented a raft and went down the Bow River all the way from the northwest to the zoo. I did that with my daughters, so that was a lot of fun. So just trying to make the most of my time here. Just making myself, I guess, a true Calgarian, and it was a lot of fun doing that the last couple of months.
Love to see it. It was good to watch some of the photos come across on the Instagram, and glad you enjoyed it, and look forward to seeing you over the course of the next few days here.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thanks, Milan Lucic.